For instance, any of you ever been to the Strait of Hormuz? You should check it out. You love it. We used to summer there when I was a boy. But this war we are in for reasons known only to Donald Trump hinges now on Iran reopening the Strait of Hormuz, which for the record was open before he started this and now either is open or is not open. We don't know. We agreed to a ceasefire if and only if they reopened the strait, and it appeared to be open briefly, but then Iran closed it because Israel kept attacking Lebanon. And now even though it is allegedly open, there are no ships going through it. Basically, after all this, he got us constipation. And only a handful of ships have been allowed to pass through the strait. Yesterday, Trump floated the idea of a grand reopening joint business venture with the people he's bombing where we would split the fees for the ships that went through. He wanted to partner with Iran, which makes no sense. None of it makes. Are you following any of this, Jay? Not at all. Okay, but here's what Trump's going to do. No matter if the strait is open or not, he'll just say, it's open. It's open. Same way he did with the riots in LA that never happened, or the imaginary water valve he opened to put out the fires. He'll put it on his vision board and will it to be true. So, drive. Dementodo was back at it with the threats again on social media last night. He wrote, all U.S. ships, aircraft, and military personnel will remain in place in and around Iran until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. If for any reason it is not, which is highly unlikely, then the shooting starts. Now he's a sheriff from the Old West, with a stagecoach leaving at dawn. And if not, the shooting starts. In the meantime, our great military is loading up and resting, looking forward actually to its next conquest. Its next conquest. We're doing this again. He talks about war like he's bragging about women with Billy Bush. This is not something we're in case you're wondering. America is back. That's right. Just like the McRib and available for a limited time. So, what he's saying is we've won the war. We achieved all our objectives, but we're still going to send a team to negotiate those objectives. And the strait is open, but also close. It's like having a Magic 8 Ball as President of the United States. Will we annihilate a civilization? Ask again later. And also, it's not a war. It's an operation. It's not just an operation. It's Operation Epic Fury, which they should change that now. You drop the RY and just make it half preaching fu because that's what it is. Formal peace talks are expected to begin on Saturday in Pakistan. The United States will be represented in these talks by J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner. Trump sent Jared so he could have some alone time with Ivanka over the weekend. But the reason Trump sends his son-in-law, who has no official position in our government, is because he was the guy in charge of brokering peace between Israel and Palestine a few years back. And that turned out great. Trump is funny because he keeps claiming we won this easily. We won it, but he's furious with our allies in NATO for not jumping in to help open the strait. He had a 2-hour chat with the head of NATO yesterday that did not go well. According to the people who were in the meeting, they said it was nothing but a tirade of insults. And the Prime Minister of Spain, Pedro Sanchez, this guy's had enough. After the ceasefire agreement, he said the government of Spain will not applaud those who set the world on fire just because they show up with a bucket, that is not going to go over not too bueno with, but it's hard for Trump to retaliate against Spain because the only oil he can take from them is those little tins of anchovies, So this war has not done much for Trump's approval rating. According to The Economist, his popularity is somewhere between Bill Cosby and strangers clipping their toenails in public right now. Only 37% approve of Trump, 56% disapprove, 7% are not sure. I don't know who those people are, but they need to get their acts together. And you want to know where Trump's most unpopular? In the very place where he lives, Washington, D.C. His net approval rating is 80 point. The closer you get to him, the lower it goes. It's like in his bedroom, 0. He ends up with 0 approval. Speaking of his bedroom, there was a big surprise from the White House today, even to Donald Trump. Melania emerged from the rubble of the East Wing. She brushed the drywall off her business suit and delivered a doozy of a prepared statement demanding that we stop talking about something no one was talking about. Good afternoon. The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. Okay, how about tomorrow? Because I'm just now hearing about these lies. Can you give me a mute to catch up? Somewhere in the White House Trump he saw this happening. He spit out a whole gallon of Diet Coke. And this is already better than her movie. Go on, please. I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach and everywhere. I love how she keeps calling him Epstein like it's an episode of Welcome Back Kotter or something. And why is this happening today? He spent the past 6 weeks trying to bomb this Epstein story out of the headlines. 2 days after the ceasefire, she puts it right back on top. She must really hate him. I don't know how else to explain it. So then a reporter gets hold of Trump, calls his phone, he says, I didn't know anything about this statement Melania made. He didn't know she was going to do it before she did it. Which shows you just how smoothly things are running over there. For whatever reason, she didn't ask. She didn't give him a heads up. She just went right out in front of the cameras and fired away. I am not Epstein's victim. I am my husband's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at the New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in a detail in my book, Melania. Only a member of the Trump family could turn a defiant speech about a pedophile into a plug for her book. This was a 5.5-minute speech. She demanded that Congress let the victims testify under oath, which is something Donald most definitely does not want to happen, and she pushed back against what she says are false stories and photos about her and her husband's BF Jeff. Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false. This is the same speech he gave her after Stormy Daniels. She's just regurgitating it. But the bigger question is what images have been circulating around social media. What is she talking about? And I haven't seen any images. And by the way, while you're explaining how much you didn't know Epstein, any particular reason you can think of that he had a picture of you guys on display at his house? Maybe this is the photo that came with the frame. These two don't know each other at all in this photo from which Ghislaine Maxwell was cropped out. This is quite a plot twist, right? I mean, Melania says she didn't know she never flew on his jet, but now she doesn't need to fly in his jet because you know that $70 million private plane Kristi Noem bought with taxpayer money to fly herself around the country while she was running the DHS. Well, the White House is planning to now keep that on property to be used by cabinet officials and Melania. The plane has a queen bed, a kitchenette, several flat-screen TVs, and cream-colored leather seats. J.D. Vance just got a chubby when he cream. This would make Donald and Melania the first couple in American history to have separate bedrooms and separate planes. So congratulations to them. Meanwhile, poor Kristi Noem is back to flying Spirit Airlines. And speaking of flying, there's I don't know if you know about this, but it's not getting much attention, but there's a congressman from Tennessee named Tim Burchett who's been making the rounds saying he has seen and heard definitive proof of alien life on Earth. And that the facts, if we knew them, would set the planet on fire and cause the country to come unglued. And while you might think that revelation would be compelling enough in and of itself, the right-wing cableverse has already passed the idea of whether or not aliens are among us, and onto whether male extraterrestrials are manly enough. Whether you believe in them or not, everybody has heard about beings from another planet. And the descriptions are almost always the same. They're smaller, big eyes, big heads, weak, stringy little arms, pale, no gender, and usually they're feminine, and they always look the same. You never have seen an alien peeing standing up in a movie or like yucking it up with his alien buddies. That's never happened, and for some reason, the lines between gender are always blurred with aliens, which I think is very odd. Well, there's only one way to get to the bottom of this. We have to shoot Rob Finery into space to find out. That is quite a take. I mean, he's never seen an alien pee standing up in a movie. My god, man, what kind of weird sexual fetish videos are you looking for? The phrase no man left behind is somehow controversial. It should be no person or no woman, not no man. And that we shouldn't say that anymore. According to Lawrence O'Donnell, as the feminization of our culture and the lines between gender continue to blur, and they're doing this on purpose, and we're starting to look more and more like those pictures of aliens that we've all seen before. Think about it. Weak, feminine, genderless little men running around ruining the country. And again, that is just the way the left wants it. This is the perfect male Democrat. That's a perfect male Democrat. I don't know. It looks more like a perfect male Republican to me. Anyway, that's where your grandpa gets his news. And one more thing before we bring out the famous people. It is Thursday night and that means it's time to bleep and blur the big TV moments of the week. It is This Week in Unnecessary Censorship. Good afternoon everybody. I want to start this afternoon by buying Pam. Even though we've lived on space station for a collective 2 years, we have seen in things that we have never before. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at the New York City party in 1998. And then we'll see you out here in Vegas for some fun. Later telling ABC's Rachel Scott in a phone interview that if Iran does not reach a deal by Tuesday night, then quote, we'ring up the whole country. But they so fast and so hard and these guys knew exactly what. Let's go. Come on. Get in. Let's go. Pa. They came one right after another. Not at the same time. They don't want to come at the same time. They had to come right after each other. They didn't have any room. Well, in other news, did you know that today is National Tomato Day? Tomato Day is a day to appreciate the beauty of fresh tomatoes. Harry Carlo, did we say Happy National Day? No, I think just International Beaver Day was the only discussion that we had. Like sometimes I have the sudden urge to off in a commercial break. I mean, Rob, you got 4 minutes. I completely understand. Yeah. In fact, if you could prove there were a tooth fairy, I would eat the bucket of all right. We got a good show tonight from Euphoria. Odd Apatile is here. We have music from Gorillaz with Sparks and we'll be right back with Carey Mulligan.
This is a breaking news alert from USA Now. Subscribe now for live updates on politics, crime, and the economy.